All right, let's do it.
All right, everyone, we're live. Sorry, shockingly, we're late. I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to bed now. Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching. All right, guys. So this week we have. Oh, we still haven't. Shockingly, guess what we're forgetting, Bob?
Oh no, you know what? Screw these polls.
No, Bob. Nope.
uh,
Just think of a bland poll that you always get asked when you like.
what do you think of the Candemonium and Orion POVs? Because that's all anybody's thinking of right now. I'm like so tired of man. Hold on. Apparently, I can't put my glasses on with my headset already on. Doesn't work so well.
All right, so
What was I doing? Oh yeah, YouTube.
weekly poll.
I still haven't even got. I'm like I'm talking to people and I'm not even there. Hey, there's an interview with Clint Novak.
Is that my interview?
No, it's on. I don't know. It's the Ace Mid Atlantic.
No.
That year.
I was there when they did that. I think if that's the right one. But
What? Exploding Merry-Go-Round and Roller Coaster Tycoon 2? How's that work? I mean, all I did was went to YouTube.com and I'm already being sucked into a hole. This site, man.
all right.
What was I? Yeah, where I need to find Coaster Doc. Leave me alone. Where's the live stream? I don't see it.
It's up, Bob.
I don't see it.
Don't do this to me, Bob. I don't see it either.
Well, there.
But it's
So
up.
maybe
I
we're
don't know what I'm
not
supposed
really
to do.
live.
It's up. Oh, it's probably not public. I probably didn't change it to public.
Public
Oh,
it.
YouTube
What?
sucks. I have
Sucks?
to do like all this
Yes.
stuff to do all of this stuff. All right, there we go. Now it's public, so it should be visible now. Here in the second. Just wait a little bit.
Hey, look, live now.
Yay. For some reason, YouTube's like really good now. Like it's like the live streams like actually like very caught up to us. Like
Right.
it's actually pretty live. Like remember for like a while there it was like 2 minutes behind almost. Now it's like listen, this is me talking like a second ago.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it depends on various things.
All right, anyone that is watching, please may God have mercy on your soul and give us a weekly poll.
Yeah, yes, please.
We
Please,
don't want to use
please,
our brains
please.
today. We really don't.
I hate my brain.
I hate your brain too, Bob. It's it is a induced love. It is a very strong hate relationship between me and your brain. We go back far, far back.
What are you rambling about?
The hatred I have for your brain. All right, I'm trying to think of a IP I want for a park too. Gosh. Uh, mm, 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 mm. All right, righty, righty, righty. All right, all right, all right.
This is number 80, right?
I'm just gonna use someone. I'm just gonna use that person's, and then since we're saying we're not gonna read them all off, we're just gonna read ours. I'm just gonna use the Game of Thrones one because I actually like that one quite a bit. Because that was what I was gonna do because I thought that was a good theme park. So, all right. This is episode number 80. Yeah. What's a weekly poll this week, though? One that obviously does not require too much brain power. People don't like to use their brain power and write a response. It doesn't seem. Whenever it's like a simple question that they can answer, it's like we get so many responses. And then when we ask something like thought invoking, it's like 4. And then we'll get like 30 or 40 for other ones.
Yeah. It's because
People don't like to use their brains.
I don't like to use my brain either.
Can you blame them?
What the?
What's that? What's up, Chuck?
My sister just sent me a screenshot of the weather in Hershey tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
95 degrees. She said we may have to cancel the trip.
All right, I'll be there.
Oh my god, that's hot. Oh my god.
Are you actually considering not going?
No.
I was gonna say.
Gone.
I don't know any enthusiasts that would give up just because it's hot. I would go if it's 400 degrees. The chocolate Candemonium would be melting like chocolate. Candemonium would be melting like chocolate, and I'd be right, and I'd be on board. I'm so glad they changed the color to Candemonium. Do you remember when it was like dark brown, and everyone thought it would look like poopy, and then they changed it like a light bronze, and then it's so much better.
Oh no, she said we should re-examine the water park.
You don't want to go to the water park, right?
Not really. I mean, part of me, I still haven't been on their water coaster, so.
All right, let's think of a poll, and then we can discuss this.
Do you think Candemonium will melt in 95-degree weather?
Is there a heat requirement for a coaster made of chocolate? Oh, from Umbridge. Oh, 1 second.
I really don't want to do the water park. It requires so much work. It does. Especially with children. What was I doing before my sister interrupted me? I don't remember now. What are you doing?
Gotta put my lanyards back up. All right.
Oh.
Let us pray. Dear Coaster God, dear Coaster Jesus, please
make Hershey cooler tomorrow.
No, please give us a weekly poll. How was Holiday World, Bob?
You read my response.
You listened to last week's show, Bob did a whole recap too, so we didn't do a live stream for that, but that was done. Man, I cannot think of a week. Why is the weekly poll so difficult to think of all of a sudden? Normally, for a while, we're just like, I feel like it's not that difficult. Okay, Bob, we're willing to admit a little bit. Dragonfly was pretty dang good.
Dragonfly? No, it is.
And
it's fun.
Me and Timmy were like, holy crap, Bob, Merlin's Mayhem is probably like I know it's probably better than this. So it actually might be a good coaster. Like for a while, we thought you were just like being a freak, and now like, holy crap, we might actually like Merlin's Mayhem when we ride it. Like that was really good. Dragonfly was no joke.
I know, and honestly, I think Merlin's Mayhem's a little more. I mean, it's a little more intense. Like, I mean, no, it's not I-305 intense, but like, I mean,
Dragonfly was intense. I
it's
was surprised by that. I mean,
yeah, Merlin's Mayhem's a little more intense. I really seriously, I like. It blew my mind at how good it actually was.
all right, is Merlin's Mayhem an elite coaster? Just kidding.
It is.
I think we get like a 95 no for that though, just because no one who's ridden it. Let me think, Bob.
Yeah, that's a problem. A lot of people haven't because it's at a family park.
Let me think, Bob. I can't think.
Do you think kiddie coasters are often, or family coasters are often underrated?
Do you think coasters marketed as family coasters are often underrated?
Do you think the whole family coaster term is a friggin' disaster?
Yeah, because like Mystic Timbers could technically be a family coaster.
Yeah.
Um,
Verbolten. Verbolten just bugs me because, like, there's a lot of kids that kind of stuff scares.
so what do you want to? How do you want to phrase this? Are family coasters? Is the term family coasters flawed?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to word it. Um, is the family coaster term too broad?
I also want to say, like, do people underrate family coasters? I want to kind of word that in there as well.
I also want to say I want to go to bed in an hour and 20 minutes.
Well, then hurry it up, Bob. Is the term
don't know.
family coaster flawed? Do some rides that technically fit the category seem too extreme? I guess that's good. We don't really need to talk about it. And then we can talk about how people sometimes underrate the family coasters too. We can kind of add that as like a sub point, kind of.
Sure.
Like people, like because the term is flawed in our like. Well, next week's show we can say because the term is flawed, we think that people underrate them because people will be expecting a family-friendly coaster and get like an insane coaster experience. Like for Bolton, anybody that rides it thinking this is a family coaster is going to be like, holy crap, you know? That's why no one takes into our elements and things like
You're
that.
skipping.
Because
You broke up really bad there.
so did you.
What is going on? Like I didn't hear anything you said.
I heard a little bit of what you said. All right. I was saying that way on next week's show we can say if the term
I
is
still have a road copyright strike. I need to get there.
yeah, and some people are considering that a family coaster. So
Yeah, that's what Austin just said in the chat. Where are you, Audacity? There you are. I don't know. It's like, I mean, sometimes family coasters like, oh, it's 48 inches. It's a family coaster.
Copperhead.
Millennium Force. I mean, it's kind of funny because
Well, I
that's
don't think
like
it's
one
not
of
on a
the.
height requirement. It's about like elements and what kind of height and I mean it's taking all.
But
of
see,
that
I
into-
think from a park's perspective, that's what they do. They're like, oh, well, yeah, it's a 48 inch, and I don't even think a 40. See, personally, I don't think a 48-inch height requirement coaster is a family coaster because that excludes part of the family.
Well, we can talk about that when we talk about it being flawed then. All right, let's start this episode of Kosher Talk.
Yes. Let's do that. Wait. Oh, still need to test.
Same. Testing my audio for Kosher Talk Podcast episode number 80. I'm here with Bob.
Testing my audio. I'm talking with James, and I don't see James's voice doing the things on my Audacity because I'm not supposed to.
Because that would be bad if you did.
That would be weird if I
It'd
did.
be very weird, yes.
I
bet you anybody that joins this and never watched this before is like, these people are insane. These guys are insane.
Make sure it goes through the right microphone. It is.
Anybody that joins very quickly is like, these guys are insane.
Like,
we're just like, hey, Bob, what's going on? I'm talking to you through a microphone.
What is okay. I think it looks good. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. See, I've noticed when I listen to the podcast, my voice gets really quiet and then really loud.
I know.
And I don't know how to deal with that.
Oh, you don't want to know my response to that.
You can take your Yeti and shove it somewhere.
I'm just saying mine does not do that nearly as much as yours does. And if it does, it's normally because I get if it does, it's normally because I'm literally whispering sometimes because I get tired, and then that's why I don't like recording this late, because I get tired and I just kind of go yeah, yeah, I agree. But if I stayed like this the entire time, my voice would never change. And you
I actually just realized I had to turn my air filter off. Hold on a second.
Please, guys, anybody in the live stream audience that can, please put in the live chat right now that James's audio is so much superior to Bob's, because it's factually a correct statement. So if any of you out there are true patrons of the show, you'll do that for me, please.
All right, I'm back, I think.
All right.
Let me see if that worked.
Everything's
picking up. I don't know what I'm picking up.
All right.
Check, testing, 1, 2. Now, my microphone volume is as high as it'll go, so.
Is it?
It is. Wonder, I have a ceiling fan now.
Oh, Bob, you just got roasted in the comments.
What?
You spell.
At least I know how to spell Linux.
I was going to say that.
See, this whole Linux thing is everybody uses Linux. They just don't realize they use Linux.
Nobody knows the
trouble I've seen
with Linux by my side. All right. Oh boy. Of course, this happens. I hate this system sometimes.
Me too. I don't even know what you're talking about, but I hate it.
You just joined the hate bandwagon because you hate everything. If you hate that, I hate it too. I just hate everything.
What's that?
You're just going to hate everything.
Linux runs the internet, and I do mean that seriously.
You said I spelt it wrong on purpose.
I know. I saw that.
Who runs the world?
For Linux. The internet would crash all the time.
The thing is, wasn't Windows before Linux? How did that occur? I mean, I feel like.
Yeah, see, that's kind of what I was saying, Austin. It's like people were kind of going around this Oh, it's 48 inches, so it's a family coaster, which I think is too tall to be a family coaster. But like everybody just says, oh, well, it's not 54 inches, therefore it's a family coaster. Which I don't know. It's so flawed.
All right, we're gonna transition to the show mode because we're starting.
All right, let's do it.
All right, we're back, and it's time for the show to start pretty much. So, yeah, we're going to start off with talking about, just basic Candemonium and Orion thoughts.
Let me hold on. Let me go turn my ceiling fan off. I think it might be.
I also want to talk about how people are getting annoying posting constant. I'm getting so tired of seeing so many people posting about Orion and Candemonium. Like, yes, I like it. I like hearing about new coasters. I like that. But hearing about it 24/7 is really driving me up the wall. Really driving me up the wall. It's irritating. I was talking.
What's irritating?
Seeing Orion and Candemonium content 24/7.
Oh, it's very irritating.
Let's try not to bring that up though, because we're going to be doing it on the podcast, so we could say like, you guys are lucky because we haven't written any of them yet, so we're not going to be bombarding your feed with. All right, you ready to start?
Yeah, let's do it.
Alrighty.
3, 2, 1.
Hey everybody, welcome to Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. This is episode number 80. I'm James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And it is July 5th, 2020. Some big news. Oh, not big news. No, big news. It's big news that these huge coasters that were supposed to opened. Isn't that big news, Bob?
It is big news.
They were supposed to open, and they opened. But that's huge news, because no one thought that.
Why won't you delete? Hold
Just
on.
You have to stop the...
I did.
And just highlight it all and delete it.
Yeah, but for some reason, if I do a Control A, no, it worked that time. I don't know.
All right, let's just get to
All
this.
right. 3, 2.
It is episode number 80 of Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. My name is James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And it is July 5th, 2020. And some big things just happened in Hershey Park in Kings Island in Mason, Ohio, and in Hershey, Pennsylvania.
And if you missed it, where have you been?
Yes, it has been constant. Okay, I want to restart that. That was really bad. I paused really weirdly there. Please, I know you're upset. It's okay. Third time's always the charm. Third time's always the charm, Bob. We'll get it this time. I did a weird pause there, and I didn't like it. All right, you ready?
3, 2.
It is episode number 80 of Coaster Talk Podcast. My name's James Barber.
And I'm Bob Mertz.
And it is June 5th, 2020. You're listening to your source for everything roller coasters. And some big news.
Wait, hold on a second. I'm sorry. I just came up with the best idea.
What?
You're gonna say all that, and you're gonna say I'm Orion, and I'll say I'm Candemonium.
Oh, okay.
I love it.
Okay, I like
That's
that.
what we're doing.
And then I'll be like, then what after that? What's the punchline?
Then we'll just say
We'll just laugh. We'll just do like a laugh, and we'll be like, "You've probably been hearing too much. You're not going crazy there. We know that's all you've been hearing. That's all people have been talking about." All right, yeah, we'll do something like that.
3, 2.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. No, I don't like that. Restart. Sorry. God. I liked the original way I was doing it. All right, you ready?
Yep. 3, 2.
Coaster Talk Podcast episode number 80 starts now.
Why are you changing it up?
I don't know, because I can't remember how I did it the first time. I liked how I was doing it, though. This is episode number 80 of Coaster Talk. Okay, there we go. I remembered it.
3, 2.
This is Oh, boy. Oh. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, man. Man, oh, man. All right. You ready?
3, 2.
This is episode number 80 of Coaster Talk, your source for everything roller coasters. My name's Orion.
And I'm Candemonium.
And you've probably been hearing quite a bit of that. That has been that has been overloading the feeds of pretty much any social media platform that has to do with coasters. I mean, Reddit, Instagram, Facebook.
My name's not Candemonium.
My name's not Orion either. I'm James.
Oh, I'm Bob. I think.
Yeah.
I think I was one.
Bob Mertz, those are our old names before the dark days of Candemonium and Orion took over the social media. That's pretty much all you guys have been hearing about probably in the past couple of weeks. You're listening to Your Stories Everything Roller Coasters. It's July 5th, 2020. And yeah, that is, I mean, since those things opened, that is all the social media pages have been talking about. Any page related to coasters, that's all you've been hearing about. The media days, the pass holder preview days. It is crazy. It is crazy.
And I mean, they look fun and all.
Yes.
I'm riding Candemonium tomorrow. Mm-hmm. So maybe next week I'll let you know how.
Once everything dies down, no one's talking about it anymore because it's a week old. Bob will come on and give a.
Well, I think we have this. I mean, let's think about it. Like, we haven't been able to ride roller coasters, and like these two parks open at the same time. Both have major B&Ms. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just a recipe for the oh my god. It's like this is like literally like the fangirls for what, K-pop or something. I don't know. It's just like
oh my god, holy crap, OMG. I mean, I was around for Steel Vengeance. I was around for even like Fury, and I don't remember any of like the hype for this. I mean, there was hype for it, and there were people posting about it constantly. But this feels like every single post on literally anything is about that. I feel like I'm the only person posting. I posted a picture of El Toro today, and I feel like that was the only picture, not Candemonium or Orion, on my feed today.
And I guarantee you, somebody's like, man, Orion looks weird in that picture.
Is that? I thought Orion was blue. That looks brown. Or is that Candemonium? Is that Candemonium maybe? Yeah, man, they look great. Yeah, I mean, they're both fantastic coasters. I've heard B&M's done some awesome things with both of them. They look great, and we're not going to.
It does look like B&M's getting a little bit daring.
Yeah,
they're little tiny bit. I mean, daring for B&M, I should say. Like, I mean, obviously, it's not an Intamin. But I mean, both of those coasters look like they have some movements that aren't typical B&M.
Yeah. You have like the wave turn on Orion, which looks fantastic, out of this world. Definitely some cool elements. And then Hershey's with Candemonium, there's even like an ejector speed hill, which we haven't seen really with B&M ever, really. I mean, yes, some of the airtime hills that you get on some of the hypers will produce ejector, but they weren't really, designed for that purpose. They just kind of do it because, if you're taking it the right momentum and all that. But they weren't like marketed as ejector speed hills, which this was, which was awesome to see from B&M, and I've heard some really great things about it. So, yeah, we're not going to go. I know we just complained about how we've seen it, and we just kind of went into a little bit of discussion about that. We're gonna move on from that because we don't want to be bombarding your already a substantial amount of Orion and Candemonium content with even more on this podcast. We're gonna move on and talk about some other things here with actually something that was interesting. This is an interesting thing that we've been talking about parks opening. We've been talking about rides closing and some rides opening and some rides being postponed to 2021. Blah, blah. There's been a lot of things to do with opening. That's been in the news, and something that's not to do with opening. We do have a couple of openings to talk about as well. But Six Flags is basically taking a break, and I don't know. We talked about this pre-recording to the show. If this is a social media break, like from social media in general, like are they not going to post anything to social media for a long time? Because that's what a lot of people are reporting on, that this is a social media break, like for the good of social media, or is this an advertisement, like they're done advertising on social media? That's what we were talking about before the show. So Six Flags is pretty much set on their different social media accounts. So they are done advertising on social media and websites for the time being, because they are trying to devoid any platform that they're basically invested in of hate speech. They don't want any hate speech on any of the account. And you can take that for what you want, in terms of what you think they're referring to or whatever. They didn't really, say anything exactly what they were talking about, but they don't want to be affiliated with any social media corporation that basically is allowing hate speech to exist in their they
domain. Don't want to be giving their advertising dollars to it.
Mm-hmm.
So like that, that's the thing. I interpret this to just be an advertising thing. I know you had mentioned that you haven't seen any recent posts from Six Flags. I'm not on Facebook because, like, I recognized them as a disaster many years ago. Like, I know the world's finally catching up, but I, my interpretation was they just didn't want to, give advertising dollars to somebody who just like, is kind of like letting hate speech continue on, even though it's against their policy, just for the sole purpose of saying, look, we have all these extra page views, and make it in like kind of enticing advertisers in with
Mm-hmm.
numbers that aren't really showing the whole picture. Or like, they're using violators as currency to trade on, almost. It's like page views. It's a real convoluted, and they did say social media. I mean, this isn't unique to Six Flags. There's a lot of companies
Yes. Yes.
that are doing the same thing. Facebook's at the center of it all, but many companies are also, they're kind of just saying, like, we're done with social media, giving them more money until they figure out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I kind of have the feeling that they're going to continue to post. But one of the big things somebody brought up is, like, a lot of people were saying, well, we never really saw any Six Flags ads on Facebook anyway. But advertising in social media doesn't necessarily mean your traditional advertising. A lot of times you can pay to promote posts and things like that don't appear to be advertising.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's more of what Six Flags isn't going to be doing. I think they were doing that, and now they're not going to be doing that.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's nice to see. Regardless of what your views are, I like when companies actually kind of pay attention to what they're doing instead of just like writing a checkbook and just blindly spending money. It's nice to see advertisers actually think about things like this.
And I can't really tell if this is like a kind of follower thing, because like as you stated, like so many other companies, I think like Coca-Cola, a bunch of other companies have done it. So I can't tell if it's like a Six Flags trying to like jump on the bandwagon and be like, yeah, we're doing it too, or if it's more of a like an actual. I can't.
I also saw it brought up that like it was like, hey, Six Flags doesn't have any money to spend, so they're like gonna twist it into like, look,
we're done, boycott.
I don't know.
No more advertising.
I mean, yeah, corporations have this really bad habit of like making it look like they're taking action when really their motivations are different.
Yeah.
It's hard to say.
And that's, I mean, because a lot of people were like, oh my God, Six Flags is doing this. And I'm like, yeah, but they were like not even close to one of the first, like, yeah, in the theme park industry they were, but talking about boycotting, like spending advertising money, there were like many other companies for the past couple of weeks that have been doing this. So at that point I was kind of like, are they doing this because they like are actually one of the first people to be like, oh yeah, we need to do this like in a proactive, justice for all, whatever kind of way, no hate speech, blah, 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 kind of like, are they doing it for the right reason, or are they just doing it like for like a marketing kind of thing? Like, we're going to do it because now people are going to be like, yeah, Six Flags is doing it. I can't. If they were one of the first people to actually do it, like one of the first organizations, one of the first companies to come out and do this, I would have been like, oh my gosh, Six Flags is, serious about this. But it seems like it's a little late now in the game, because, I mean, people have been doing this for like 2 and 3 weeks. It seems kind of
I mean, everybody can draw that line somewhere. I mean, at some point you guys say, yeah, we're following the leader, but everybody's going to draw that line at a certain point. And this isn't going to be the last company. More are going to follow suit. And, I mean, I'm sure Roger Goodell is going to come out and say, oh, social media, blah, blah, blah. When, like, the NFL has been like the epitome of like everything that's wrong with corporate America. But I mean, and that, like, that's my point, is even the worst companies will eventually come around and like, oh, we better pretend because it's the in thing to do.
Exactly.
But yeah, everybody's going to draw that line somewhere. I mean, I think they're certainly the first to make the announcement in this industry. So I mean, that's worth something, but it's one of those interpretation things.
For sure. And kind of moving on, still Six Flags oriented though. Six Flags Over Georgia actually has changed the sign for their Schwarzkopf looping coaster, Mindbender. This sign had been at the park since the opening of the coaster in the 70s, I believe. Maybe the 80s. I can't remember the exact day that this coaster opened. It was 70s or 80s, and it's been at the park since opening day of this attraction, and it's been since they're redoing it in 2021. I don't know what the actual details are for what they're redoing. I don't know if they're, doing track work or, they're doing something extensive because it's not going to be up until 2021, but the actual sign that was original to the ride is now gone, and there's been an outrage of people. They also redid I think they redid everything in Gotham City in that park, which Batman the ride, the actual entrance to Gotham City. I think they redid signage, and people weren't upset about that because those rides aren't classics. This is a classic coaster. All those other coasters, even Batman the ride, somewhat, that's the 90s. That was kind of like late 90s, early 2000s. So that's kind of like still not considered one of the classics coasters. Mindbender, man, is one of the only Schwarzkopf looping coasters out there still. There are a lot, but there's not as many as considering like B&M inverts or B&M coasters in general. So a lot of people were not as upset with the Batman the Ride stuff, and Mindbender is causing big outrage. A lot of people are disappointed in their decision to do that, and I kind of agree. When I wrote it, I like that sign, and this new sign, as far as I can tell, looks like garbage in my opinion.
When you have a classic coaster, you kind of want to. That's kind of. I was having this conversation probably a year ago, where you kind of have this attractions kind of go through this phase. You have a new attraction, and then it gets older, and then you have to do things to kind of reinvigorate it. But then it kind of morphs into this like classic ride thing. Mm-hmm. And then the desire is everybody wants to see it go retro. And Cedar Fair just did this with Corkscrew at Cedar Point,
the Beast
at Kings Island. And it's kind of like, I think the problem here is Mindbender is already in that stage. It's a classic ride, and Six Flags is kind of like coming in and like changing it during the time when it's like more of a retro thing. It's like they're doing the opposite of what people normally expect and kind of desire at this point. Mm-hmm. So I think that's why there's like extra frustration about this.
If they had changed this I just don't like the logo. It looks awful. If they had made it look retro, or even took the old logo and revamped it a little bit, changed a little bit of it. They changed the name. It's now the Riddler's Mindbender too, which is really, I think, awful. I don't know I think Mindbender is just a better, simple. And now it's like the Riddler's Mindbender. That just sounds cheesy and corny. I think if they just kept it Mindbender, revamped a little bit of the signage if they wanted, because the sign did look a little like old and outdated in terms of like there's like grease and black, there's like a little bit of black on the letters. You could have repainted, redid something a little bit along the lines of just improving what's already there, but to completely change it and to make it something completely different, I think just ruins completely what that ride was. That's like, can you imagine if they changed the Loch Ness Monster to Elmo's Loch Ness Adventure or something, and like repaint and did a new sign or whatever, like try to do like the marketing thing with like Sesame Place or whatever. That's kind of like not the same, because obviously this is Six Flags and they have like an actual marketing campaign IP that goes throughout their entire parks, not just the kids area. But it's almost an equivalent to if SeaWorld did something like that, and that would not be tolerated at all, I know. And this is just as horrendous. Of course, it's Six Flags, so nobody can get too mad, I guess. But
I think that's kind of like that's kind of the angle I'm looking at this as, is like at least they kept Mindbender. They could have completely changed this name, and just something even stupider.
That would have been even worse.
Everybody's like, "Oh, this is so wrong. This is so wrong." Like, me, I'm kind of looking at this and going, "It's Six Flags. Like, this really could have been a lot worse."
They could have just been like, "Let's just take the ride out. Screw it."
Oh, God, don't say that. Don't say that.
I wouldn't put it past him.
That's such a Cedar Fair thing now.
And
that's the thing that I don't know. Cedar Fair's.
That's another story entirely.
We've talked about that before.
Oh yes, we have. But yes, this was disappointing to see. In my opinion, that this was a bad move by Six Flags. Bob stating, you can look at this half glass full or half glass empty kind of way. Hey, at Six Flags they could have done a lot worse, or hey, They could have done a lot better. I was hoping they would try to retrofit it and keep it how it was. Hopefully the ride doesn't change too much. I've heard some conflicting information on like what is actually being done to the ride. Like that, some parts are being like retracked and refurbished and all this. And I'm like, oh god, I hope they're not doing that, because I mean it ran butter when I was going, so I don't really know what kind of extensive work they'd have to do to 2021 not being able to open this if it's not that big of a not that big of a job, because it was running very, very well. I don't know if they're getting new trains. I don't know what they're doing exactly, but whatever it is, hopefully it stays true to the original ride. I really hope we're not seeing anything too different, because I mean, as Bob stated, this is the kind of ride that is like a retro ride now. It is a ride that people look back as a classic, and they don't want it to change. It's a ride that you're getting to that point. Like with Hurler and stuff, that was like one of those rides that's like like the 90s kind of were like. The 90s coasters, you can kind of do whatever, because a lot of those were like, at this point, they're not considered those classic rides yet. Hurler, the B&M inverts, like they're old, even like Batman the Ride, as we stated, no one's really outraged at those signs getting changed and stuff like that. Nobody's too mad about that. But when you mess with a ride from like the 80s and the 70s, that's like kind of, you're getting into like historic ground there. And I just think that was a bad move for them. But again, yeah, it's Six Flags, you got to expect it sometimes.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, like I said, this could have been a whole lot worse. So I'm kind of looking at this positively. Like at least they're keeping the name and they're keeping the ride, and I mean that's the thing. Like if you change the name, you change the name. Like keep the ride experience the same. That's the most important thing, and hopefully they, that remains true.
Exactly. If that changes, there will be riots. Mindbender, we want, like that's not going to be good, and I'm not going to put up with that. That's going to be awful if something large is changed, altered. Whew, they're in for a treat. I'm sure the enthusiasts are not going to be happy about that. So,
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. So,
let's go on to some news, other good news. Like, well, I don't know. I don't know. That last story is kind of mediocre. But let's go to true good.
Let's go to full-fledged great news. A park that we once thought was no more. As we stated on a previous episode, we were talking about how it may reopen, and now it is pretty much confirmed it is reopening in 2021, though. We're talking about Fantasy Island, the Niagara Falls amusement park, located right outside of Buffalo, right in Niagara Falls, New York. This is a park that Apex Parks doomed to a fate of death. And it is now, along with Indiana Beach, also going to reopen. So Indiana Beach did reopen, and now this is also on the slate to reopen. So they actually released a thing. Empire Adventures are going to reimagine, revitalize, and reopen Fantasy Island. As we stated in a earlier episode of the show, we were like, "Oh, this is they're going to try to reopen the park," and they actually are going to reopen the park now. But it's going to be 2021. So once things are set in stone, they basically have phases. Kind of, a lot of you might be familiar with the phases that we've been doing for COVID. They kind of have a phase for reopening with the actual park now. So they said phase one is things are set in stone. We plan to use the rest of the 2020 season to make necessary beautification efforts to the park, such as cleaning up the mess left by previous management. I love that. I love that little nudge right there. In addition, we also plan on bringing in the initial lineup of new rides and attractions that will open to the park in May of 2021. In phase two, we intend to reopen Fantasy Island in time for summer of 2021. Our initial lineup of attractions will include the park's famous wooden roller coaster, along with a wide selection of kids, family, and thrill rides. Popular amenities such as free parking and the ability to bring your own food and drinks in the park will rightfully return. And then there's also a phase 3 that says, as proven successful throughout the industry, we are currently working on a 5-year plan to introduce new rides and attractions annually, eventually transforming this park into a world-class regional attraction. With Empire Adventures, you can be confident that Fantasy Island will remain focused on providing a safe, quality, and family-friendly day of fun. So that sounds like a pretty good deal to me.
Yeah, I think they're doing this right. It sounds like they're going to take this year to rebuild the attractions, get back, make sure they're not opening with just a roller coaster. And
as we stated in the previous episode, they just have the roller coaster and the slides currently at the park. So what was stated in that episode is that they would maybe have to bring in some sort of carnival rides, like drive up kind of rides that are like fair rides that are mobile rides, and that would have been kind of, I don't know. So I think they want to get permanent attractions. They want to have, like they said, make this a regional attraction, and they want people to come and be able to experience these rides and all of that.
I kind of have a feeling they might still end up with fair type rides, but it,
Yeah, I
like
think
they
they will,
may
but I think
actually.
they might be more permanent because I know. I mean, even Fantasy
Right.
Island.
They'll decorate it. They'll like work it in. This, a little side note. I don't know if this is still true, but Kennywood had the pirate ship, and Kennywood's pirate ship was always a fair ride, and nobody knew it because the trailer sat below all of the scenery, and like it was like you could not tell that it was an actual fair ride
Mhm.
because of the stuff they surrounded it with. So even if they're going to get fair rides, they can do something like that, and they have more time to make it look permanent. But I mean, even so, I don't really care. Like if they have a fair atmosphere, that's kind of an interesting way of doing it.
And
I
that's
mean,
how I always
you
like saw that park. When I drove by that park on the highway up because I go to Niagara Falls every year for a family reunion, I would see that park and I was like, is that like a state fair or a carnival or something? Because that's what it always looked like driving by with all even the previous rides they had there were like that. They had the permanent, but they were more permanent, but they had like those fair type rides. So I always kind of envisioned that as before I was an enthusiast as like a carnival or as a state fair or something of that sort. So
you look at Knoebels. Knoebels is kind of a mix of
yeah,
the same thing, and it sounds almost like they're kind of working towards Knoebels format,
hmm
which I think is a great way to go.
yeah, I mean,
I like people. Yeah, I think that a lot of times people look at independent parks and they go like, how are these parks making money? And I think the reality is different. Is we should look at like Cedar Fair parks and go, well, look at how much money they're making. Like they're making so much money off of us, it's ridiculous. Um, so like parks can be successful by giving free admission and free parking. I mean, Holiday World's doing it.
oh yeah,
Holiday World's even giving you free drinks.
yeah. I mean, that's
Um,
crazy.
like I mean, these parks are successful at this, with doing this, and I don't think there's any reason why Fantasy Island can't be in the same boat.
Yeah, it's for sure.
I,
I'm excited to see what they do. I know they said, as I stated earlier, they're doing like a 5-year expansion plan. I'm excited to see what they bring. Is this going to be? I mean, again, they said this wants to be like a major regional attraction, and I wouldn't say before it really was. So maybe they're going to do some sort of expansion, or adding a new awesome roller coaster. I'm not sure exactly what that entails, but it looks like the future is definitely bright for Fantasy Island.
yeah, I think it definitely is. I think this format could work out very, very well for them, and I'm excited to see what happens next year.
So we started off with, as we stated, with Six Flags Over Georgia. We kind of started off with some mild news. We just had some good news with that. Now it's time for the bad news, the very bad news for anybody that's traveling up to Hershey Park, Pennsylvania, going up there to ride some of the coasters they have. Storm Runner, their Intamin multi-launch attraction, is not going to be opening this year.
It's not multi-launch, single launch. It's an accelerator,
It's an accelerator.
single launch.
All right, let me.
Yeah, not multi-launch.
Yeah, I've ridden it too. I should know this. I do know this. I'm just tired. I say dumb stuff when I'm tired. Storm Runner. All right, let me re-say that.
Wait. Oh, all right. Well, let me find where we were at.
Oh boy. I mean, I knew it's an accelerator too. I couldn't think of the name of it. That's why I said multi-launch. I'm like, what the hell is it? Accelerator? Yeah. Multi-launch.
Wait, where should I? I don't know where to stop it at.
Just delete it. Like, it was like, well, let me see. It's like 10 seconds. Just delete like 10 seconds. The last 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
All right, you'll figure it out from there.
Just delete 10 seconds.
23:30. It would be 13:30. No.
No, 13:30 is a minute. That's a minute. 13:30 is a minute.
I can't math.
Yeah. It's a multi-launch coaster, Bob.
30. So I'm looking for 20. 23:20. Right here. All right. You'll figure it out from there then?
Yes.
Okay. Give me 1 second.
1.
Blah. I need to take medicine real quick. Sorry. Normally I do that after the podcast, but since I need to go to bed.
You ready? 3, 2, 1. Storm Runner, the new.
Oh, I actually hit it. I thought you were good.
I was just.
All right, ready?
All right, you ready?
3, 2, 1.
Storm Runner, the Intamin accelerated roller coaster, will not be opening with the park. Hershey Park stated in a tweet they sent out to a reply, unfortunately, necessary maintenance was delayed by the impact of COVID-19, and then they said they would share an update when that was possible. So, and then on their website as well, it states it's closed for the rest of the season. So, that's a big major attraction that's not opening with Hershey Park.
Yeah, and actually, Super Duper Looper is also closed, but they're saying that's temporarily closed.
That's temporary, yeah.
And they're saying the same reason, like they just weren't, because of COVID, they weren't able to complete maintenance. I
makes
think
sense.
it's hilarious, though. Like, people are going off and like, oh, intiminitis. It's like, hold up. Like, you do realize there's a pandemic going on. Like, this is like...
Yeah, and if it was like any other state than Pennsylvania, I would be like, but Pennsylvania was like shut down. I mean, I remember we talked about PTC couldn't even do the Voyage trains. They couldn't do anything with it. They couldn't even get in the facility to do Voyage work on the trains. And that was, that's not that many people going to PTC. I know they have like 10 or 20 employees. So, I mean, if not even they can go in, I'm sure for a fact that Hershey Park was not allowed to do any type of maintenance work on their coasters during this. So it would make sense.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, this fits. I mean, it's not like this. I don't think there's any hidden conspiracy here. I think it's ridiculous. Like, I mean, Intamins aren't the most reliable coasters. I'll flat out say that. Yes, they're, you get what I mean. They're on the cutting edge. That's just the nature of the beast. But people sometimes jump all over. Like, anytime an Intamin's down, it's like, oh, like it's this whole big ordeal. And sometimes I really feel like Cedar Fair kind of dramatizes this epidemic as well. But I mean, Hershey really has a history of keeping their Intamins running. I mean, even Six Flags keeps their Intamins running. But I mean, Hershey, yes, sometimes they go down. It happens. But they turn around quick. They get it up. I don't think there's anything more to the story than they just couldn't complete the maintenance they needed to, over the off season.
I don't know what world you're living in, but if there is anything to do with any kind of coaster going down for maintenance, there's always a conspiracy behind it with enthusiasts. The parts from Japan flew in, man, and they couldn't get the.
Yep. I mean, we hear that the most about Cedar Fair's Intamins.
Yeah, yes, we do. Yes, we do.
It just gets so ridiculous because, there's bad blood between Cedar Fair and Intamin, and I really feel Cedar Fair a lot of times just kind of dramatizes that whole thing. I mean, let's think about it. I-305, Millennium Force, they were both down for a month or so. Top Thrill Dragster was down for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
None of the other parks have that issue. I mean, yes, Sky Rush was down for a while, but that had nothing to do with Intamin. Mm-hmm. That had to do with the construction crew messing up the footer. That, you can't blame that on Intamin. Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's just weird. But it's now that there's Intamins elsewhere, it's something happens. It's oh my God, Intamin. Next thing you know, you'll hear Hershey's going to get rid of all their Intamins. That's why they got a B&M. And no, stop.
Hold your roll, guys.
Yeah, slow down. It's not that bad.
But I mean, I feel like anytime there's any type of news related to maintenance work, there's always some guy, well, my friend works in the maintenance department and he told me that they're building a giga on top of it's over. It's come on. There's always something.
Yeah. Well, my cousin works. He's a Dippin' Dots guy at Six Flags.
He works at Five Guys, and his
Mindbender is becoming a giga. That's what's going on. Like like that's what's going on. Dippin' Dots guy says so. Mindbender's becoming a giga.
My friend works at Five Guys, and his manager used to work at Six Flags in 1987, and he worked in the food sector, but his employees, it's just, he worked in maintenance, and he told me that in 2021, they could predict the future, and he knew that a giga was coming, even before they knew what a giga was back then. It's just,
Yes.
it's just stories like that I hear every time there's some sort of maintenance down issue or anything like that. It can never just be it's down. It can never just be it's down. It always has to be.
Yeah.
But it's down. But they're getting a new coaster. But it's down because this launch piece is coming from China. Or
then there's people that are like, it's like there's polarization in the coaster community too, which is kind of funny. It's like a B&M goes down. It's like, oh no, somebody pushed the wrong button and they messed it all up. It's like, what? Like B&M's can rumors and like conspiracies like start up because the parks aren't saying anything. Hershey Park just flat out said on Twitter to like numerous people, if you search their tweets, numerous people, it's like, we couldn't complete the maintenance because of COVID. That's why it's down. Like, Hershey Park said that.
No.
And it's still like, no. The thing caught on fire and like, the
launch needs to come from Indonesia. Into
the whole roller coaster tycoon explosion mode.
The launch is being thrown in on a fighter jet plane from Indonesia, and it's gonna, it's gonna. So
the only tool there is to fix the accelerator coasters is broke, so they have to like go make a whole brand new tool so that they can fix it. Like, oh my god!
Only the metal forged in the fires of the Amazon can bring it back. It's great. Yeah, it's true. And it's just every time it happens, anytime this goes down or that goes down or this isn't working, it's like, oh boy, here it comes. But that is it for the first.
Dippin' Dots always says so.
Yep.
How is Dippin' Dots still the ice cream of the future? Like, they've been around for 20 years. How are they the ice cream of the future?
Yeah. I love it. We got off a little off topic there, but I hope you guys enjoyed that. When we come back, we're gonna get right back on the topic and talk about something that's going on in the show, our photo contest, something that a lot of people were excited about, and we're gonna actually talk about the prizes of the photo contest. A lot of people are wondering, hey, what do I get if I win this? We're going to be talking about that all when we get back from this break. That was good. We need to start doing more like comedy stuff because we sometimes get a little too like robotic. We're like, oh yes, this is happening. Oh yes. And then I think people like when we crack up, have fun sometimes.
Yeah, and like the chat is running away. I haven't been able to pay attention.
We've created a forum of our own down there.
Yeah. I want to see Chance Hyper GTX. You're a fighter, I could take or leave. Hyper GTX, yeah, that would be awesome to see at Fantasy Island. I don't care where a Hyper GTX shows up, like preferably somewhere on the East Coast.
What if Kings Dominion got a Hyper GTX for Volcanoes replacement? Oh yeah, we talked about that. And you said you might accept that.
I'd be happy. It still wouldn't be worthy of Volcano, but it would make me happy.
You said if it was a launched Hyper GTX, you might be okay with that.
Oh my god! Yeah, that. Yeah. Now I don't know what's Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and Kings Dominion. I don't know if we're going to expect them to open or not. Things aren't looking good for them because Phase 3 it doesn't seem like they're gonna. I mean, Phase 3 in Virginia only allows 1,000 people, so they're not.
I really thought they were gonna sue there. I really thought they were gonna sue.
Yeah, but I don't know if they can. I don't know if they have any legal ground for that. They might. I don't know. But either way, like we're getting to that point where it's just not. It may just not be. It may be too late in the season for them to go through the process of opening the parks. And what this means is, I guarantee you what this means is Busch Gardens is going to screw me out of a pass.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because I have a platinum, so they're going to, well, you could go to Florida. Like, no.
Go to Bob, just spend a couple $1,000 to go down to Florida, Bob. What's the big deal? What's the big deal, man?
Corona.
Yeah, spend like $1,200 too, and
because thrill seeking is essential. I swear, every week that goes by, I get more and more angry at SeaWorld. As much as I love their parks, man.
It's such a weird. It's such a weird. Like I love their parks. I love their. Like even like the upper management at the parks are great. Like all the people I know that work at Busch Gardens are fantastic. Like even the Kevin's awesome. Like it must just be like a
Yeah,
corporate
but
thing.
it's SeaWorld, it's corporate.
Yeah.
And yes, Edon, I've been saying for a long time that one of the things I would love to see in place of Volcano is a Merlin's Mayhem, like supersized with a launch. That's exactly what I've been saying. And Dragonflyer is well, it's not exact. There's some
It's
slight
Vekoma too. So
differences, but it's very, very similar to Merlin's Mayhem.
would you be okay with it
And
being a
that's
Vekoma?
exactly what I've been saying.
Would it have to be SNS
Because
or could it be Vekoma?
I mean, Vekoma has similar feel, but so let me ask. I don't know if it's so much on you wrote Dragonflyer. Did it feel? Did you kind of feel like it had that gliding feeling that Volcano had? Not the launch, but like at the top of the volcano, like kind of had that feel.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it did.
But that's the thing. Like Merlin's Mayhem was the only coaster that ever replicated that feel for me. That's why I think that it could.
I think Dragonfly did that pretty well. I mean, all the elements it took were pretty like.
Yeah.
Even like the snappy elements were like really like woo, woo, like they felt like.
Yeah, it really emulated the feel of Volcano very well, and that's why I think if you supersize that and make it a launch, I think you have a very decent Volcano replacement.
Alrighty, you want to get ready to go?
Yeah.
Baby, I'm ready to go. Shut it up from the rooftop. Shut it up.
Baby, I'm ready to go. I love Republica. I loved Republica even before Top Thrill Dragster was built.
I think you just like that song.
I do.
Do you like?
I like
any
that
other...
song. They Drop Dead Gorgeous is another song they have.
Yeah, I was about to
really
say. Do you know any other songs by them? All right, guys. Welcome back to Coaster Talk, your source to everything roller coasters. I'm James Barber.
And I'm still Candemonium.
All right, you ready? You ready to start?
Yep.
All right.
3, 2.
The Coaster Talk podcast photo contest has been in full for over about half a month now. Most of the deadline, that is July 16th. That's the deadline for the photos that you can send in. We've gotten some very good submissions so far, but I feel like more people will submit now that we have the prizes available and we're sharing them with the world, and you guys know what you're going to win when you do get voted in whatever place you're going to get put in. Blah, blah, blah. Blah, 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 blah.
We're just going to start that segment over.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I was just talking nonsense there.
What? Audacity failed to read a foul?
No.
What the hell?
No, Bob.
I don't know what happened.
No, Bob.
Well, I say, dude, I don't know what's going on.
Bob, no. I'm just kidding.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
What's going on? Why is it doing this? Like, if Audacity failed to read a file from in period. What are you doing, Audacity? Oh my God, what just happened? Oh my God. All the audio is gone from here. I saved it, so
good.
I gotta close it and hope to God. Well, yeah, but I hope it didn't save corrupted files. What? Well, let me make a copy of the data file first. What the hell, Audacity? You're not supposed to, like, be stupid like this. Project check of CTP-80 detected 156 missing audio data block files, probably due to a bug, system crash, or accidental deletion. There is no way for Audacity to recover these missing files automatically.
What does that mean? Does that mean it's all gone?
It might. Please select an action. Close project immediately with no further changes. Treat missing audio as silence. Replace missing audio with silence. Oh, why? This is going so well too. I don't understand how it just disappeared. And it's like a ton of missing data block files. 16 orphan block files. These files are unused by this project but might belong to other projects. They are doing no harm and are small. All right. Oh, I got some audio back. Let me see where. All right, I definitely have up to Fantasy Island.
All right, that's good. We didn't go that much longer. Hopefully you have all the Hershey stuff. That was good too.
That's what I lost.
How?
I don't know. I have no idea what happened.
There's no way to recover it.
I don't know. It's saying it said something about those fragments, but I don't know where they're. I don't know how to get them. I think maybe that might have the.
Can it truly be a Coaster Talk episode without something like this happening, though?
No, apparently can't.
Can never
16
just
block files.
never just goes smoothly.
I don't know what the orphan block. Let me try this one. There's 4 art. This is so weird. The copy that I made has 16 orphan nodes, and the original has 4 orphan nodes. But I don't know how to access them, and I don't know what they are. I mean, likely that's probably the Hershey Park. DO2. Yeah, that's definitely it. 299D. The stream is in the wrong format. The hell does that mean? Oh, what are you doing? I don't know. We might have to. We might have to just re-record Hershey Park.
That would be Hershey Park and everything we talked about after. Right?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just Hershey Park, the Storm Runner.
Yeah, that's a lot. And then I talked about like the photo contest thing at the end, but that's all right. Hold your roll, guys. That was like
Why won't you?
That was like the longest segment we did too. That kind of sucks.
I know it does suck. I I don't know why. I don't know what's going on.
That was.
And now VLC.
10
I
minutes.
tried to open.
I don't think we can imitate what we just did. That was a great comedy gold.
Now I know it was.
Maybe I could somehow get it from the live stream, but then your audio always cuts out because it's my audio. It's like not the actual good audio.
It's up. I mean, it's up to you.
I have a feeling I'm gonna rewatch. It's gonna come through kind of bad, probably at some points. What can you do? Is there any? Do you think you're gonna be able to recover it or no?
I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna be right back then. So.
Okay. Oh.
How's it looking? Not good, I'm assuming.
Reading about manual recovery. Let's see.
Alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom then.
Okay.
Sorry, everybody in the live stream.
Yeah, sorry guys.
If anybody's still watching. I think they're having like their own conversations. I don't even think they care.
Yeah, no, they're just ignoring us.
We still have 6 viewers. That's the most viewers we've had all night. And of course, it's right when we're.
I'm trying to see if these files actually have any audio in them.
And you can do that via Linux.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you
I
that.
mean-
On Windows, if something like this happens, I would just have to redo everything. I wouldn't be able to do any recovery. Because I don't know how to do any of that on Windows.
I have some. That one. Yeah, I don't know. It's looking like it didn't actually record anything at that time.
But
and I don't know why.
But didn't you see your audio going when you were recording?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't always pay attention to that window.
But like when you started recording, you saw your voice going or whatever, or you saw it recording.
Yeah.
Or you would have started. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Oh man, oh man. Oh me, oh my, oh big oh pie.
What just happened now? Dude, what the hell?
Oh, man.
Now it's not loading any of the audio. Wow, what the hell? This is pissing me off like really, really bad.
Oh, boy.
This isn't the night for this either.
It has become that night, though.
It has.
Because why not?
I hate it. Yeah.
Technology just likes to screw with people, I think. Yeah, so all
It
the
does.
viewers that are wondering what's going on right now, guys, we are having some technical difficulties with the show. We were about halfway through recording, and Bob's audio seems to have been... There's an error with, Audacity, so he's having a look into that. So that's what we're doing right now. If anyone's like joining and going, what's going on? So it might be a while. So I don't know if you guys want to stick around. And there's a conversation in the live chat that's going on that seems pretty intense. But we're not really doing anything. If you guys have any questions or anything, or any comments, or you want to... He said we should play the Jeopardy song, hello. Boo doo 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 doo. Boo doo 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 doo. Because we definitely can't re-record the show. I mean, we could, but I don't know if either of us really want to do that. Do you have any confidence in what you're doing will result in a restored audio?
Well, now I'm just trying to get back to where I had it before, where Martin's Fantasy Island was there. So I'm all kinds of... I don't understand. I mean, it was loading it before, but now it's like...
The audio from the live stream probably won't be good enough now.
Do you want to try that?
No, it's not going to be good. I know, because you've been cutting out during the show, and it's like normal, and I just, we can kind of understand what we're saying, so we just go along with it. It would sound really weird if since you already have like some of the audio, it would be weird cutting in and out from the...
Well, I don't... That's the thing. Now that audio is gone, and I don't know
but I'm saying,
why.
like, then like the next half of the show, we'll just go back to recording with the regular audio, and it's going to sound really weird if all of a sudden you're like talking really normal. It's going to be like, wait, it just sounds awkward. So we need music. All right, let's do some music.
I don't understand. I haven't saved anything, so I don't understand why.
So this is kind of like a... This can be like my little moment of shine right here with music. Here's a good band called Tame Impala. Again, I'm willing to talk about music if anyone in the comments wants to talk about it. Just list your favorite band or whatever. While Bob's restoring his audio, or hopefully getting whatever he can, salvaging whatever he can.
It's not loading it now, and I don't understand why. I mean, I have 3 different copies of it, and now it's just saying it's missing all of the blocks, but all of the blocks are there.
Alright, well, I think maybe we should end the live stream since we don't know how long this might take. I don't want people just having to sit here watching.
Well, I mean, if they're having conversation, let them talk.
They're not anymore. Everyone's gone silent.
You don't want to try pull audio from the live stream?
I don't think it's gonna be, there's gonna be sections where you're cutting out and stuff.
Give me a few more minutes.
I can give you as much time as you want. I was just saying, do you think we should just stop the live stream right now?
I think just let it go.
Let it go.
Let it go. Let it go. Well, I mean, I'm sure we can enter. My frustration in your music can be entertaining.
All right, we'll go back to this.
CTP-80 data. All right.
You could see that Pierre truly loved the Mademoiselle. And now the young Monsieur and Madame are on the chapel bell. You know that song?
No.
You ever see Pulp Fiction?
I don't know if I've seen the whole thing.
This is Chuck Berry. The greatest rock singer of all time, probably. Well, greatest 50s rock singer of all time, at least.
Busch Gardens getting an STC would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be.
I don't know. I don't know what to think of SeaWorld, really.
Tell me this is not a great song.
I can't hear what song it is.
Oh, you don't know it? I'm sure, because I didn't know it for a while. Here it is. I heard it on the radio, and I'm like, this is an amazing song. Can you hear it now?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't. I mean,
This guy was a one-hit wonder.
sound.
It does sound like, when I heard it, it sounded like a familiar sound to it. But I'd never heard the song before, but this is an amazing song. think this came out in like 1979. Maybe. I think it might have been earlier than that, actually. I think that was another song. 78. This is my kind of soft rock. For so long. I do like hard rock too, but I like soft rock a lot.
Good lord. Sounds like people are blowing up the neighborhood.
You're in DC, maybe they are.
I'm not in DC. I'm in a suburb. It's fireworks, I know, but holy crap.
70s. 70s are
It's
the greatest era of music. 80s is the cheesiest era of
No.
music. I like the 80s, but anyone tries to ever argue with me that the 80s was one of the greatest eras of music, then I just can't. I had someone staying at my Airbnb, and she's like a singer, and she's like, "Oh, I sing mainly 80s music," and I'm like, "Can you agree with me that they're like the cheesiest decade of music?" And she's like, "It's pretty cheesy."
Yeah, I go 80s, 90s.
Now, come on, man. The 70s were so much better than any of those decades. The 90s are good. I'll give you the 90s. But even 90s is like, I mean, there's like grunge, alternative rock. Pop music was awful in the 90s. Country was good in the 90s. Rock was okay in the 90s. I mean, you had alternative rock, but other than that, you know, not too much. What did you like in the 90s?
Pop, mostly.
Oh my God, you're a freak. That's the... He likes the pop of the 80s. Bob's not a metal guy.
Yeah, not really.
This is what I did last time. I said, Mom, you know what? She tried to argue that it's not... The 80s wasn't the cheesiest era of music. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to play you all these songs from the 80s and tell me that these songs aren't cheesy. Here we go. Here are the hits right here.
I like that song.
Cheesy song. I like the song too. I like a lot of these songs, but they're cheesy songs. They don't have real like musical value to them. They're just like anyone like dun dun. Like it's not like this isn't like groundbreaking music. It's just cheesy pop music. And the 70s was not like that. The 70s had some very, 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 very good music that changed. I mean, the 70s was like the decade that changed music, kind of.
All right, so I don't know.
This is a great song, but it's just not. I don't think I would consider this. All right, here's another one. Just tell me these songs aren't cheesy, and then I'll be done. Like, James has a great taste. Thank you. I know. I'm keeping it alive. Thank you. That keeps me going.
All
here.
right. So I think I don't think I can recover this. I'm out. Like I can't. I just don't have time.
Re-record the show. I do like this song a lot, but it's still a cheesy song. Oh no, this is actually not the song. I like Kenny Loggins. I don't like this song though. I like Holiday Road. I don't like Footloose. Oh boy, here we go. Here's the rock of the 80s right here. This is the best. Oh, and we're trying to... My favorite 70s band? Pink Floyd's my favorite 70s band. Pink Floyd is the greatest, other than the Beatles, is the greatest band of all time. If you've ever listened to The Wall, Full Through, all their other albums are great too. I mean, Obscured by Clouds, Metal, Atom Heart Mother, Dark Side of the Moon. Pink Floyd's a great band. But I mean, listen to this. Like, we got this. This is a good song too. And then let's listen to like something like Pink Floyd. This is a freaking... Like, this song makes me want to, like... Here we go. Like, that's just, like, so much better than Don't Stop Believing. It's just like, it's like not even on the same tier.
All right, James, here's the deal. I can't. I don't know. I don't have time to record another podcast either. I don't know what you want to do. I don't know why. I should have just exported it when I got that far, but
I mean, I
I,
can try to pull it from the live stream, but it's gonna sound really weird.
I mean, I know, but
It's gonna
I don't know
be.
whether I don't know what other option we have. I can't, and I don't know why it's refusing to load what I had now. This is just irritating me to no extent.
Can you try to download? I was about to say I have to end the stream in order for you to be able to download it and see if the audio is good. So that's kind of a problem. We can just. I mean, at this point, we probably should just end the stream and finish up the show. I would love to start a show about music. I mean, start a thing about whatever music. I would love to have a YouTube channel about music. But it's too much to try to do a coaster podcast and to do a YouTube channel about music. But my dad is a huge music buff too, and my brother, and we've all thought about doing like a podcast of all of us talking about music. Because my dad is where I got my music inspiration from, and my brother likes newer music, and he likes older music as well. And I'm kind of like the middle. I like newer music, and I like older music. I prefer older music, but I do like some newer music as well. And then my dad's like, anything past the '90s sucked, kind of. Yeah, Pam, I don't know what to do. I mean, it sucks. It's a sucky. I don't know what happened. We don't know what to do. Not I. It's not like I'm sitting there helping Bob. Really, we had a really good show going too, man. Really good. That was like one of the best shows we've done in a while. We had like good chemistry, good comedy going there.
I have no idea why Audacity did.
The thing is, if I pull from the stream, I'm gonna have to use my audio from the stream too, which doesn't sound as good either. So it's gonna be like really awful quality first half of the show, and the second half of the show, it's gonna all of a sudden be like fantastic.
I mean, but it's better than no podcast. Because I really don't like at this point. Like I'm already past the time I wanted to go to bed.
I come from the down under.
I'm just so pissed. I wish I knew what happened too. That's what's like. I have no idea why Audacity just decided to like. I don't know.
So like, can you like close out of Audacity and reopen it, and then normally it says like recover project or whatever.
I have. That's what I've done. That's where I'm at. Project check. So I did that once, and then it came up, and that's when I had the audio. But then it was saying about the orphaned blocks, so I closed it. Didn't save it. I just closed it to go review those orphaned blocks to see if it happened to have the audio. And now when I try to open it, it says it detected 156 missing audio data block files, probably due to a bug, blah, blah, blah. There is no way for Audacity to recover these missing files automatically.
Yeah.
Which I was here before, and then all of a sudden it opened. But I don't know. I don't understand. Like I don't understand what happened to these block files. They just disappeared. And at the same time, there's like a whole ton of other block files. See, this is the weird thing. They're all in DO2. There's none.
Talk about movies. I can talk about anything pop culture, guys. So if you want to talk movies, we can talk movies too. My favorite movie of all time is Jaws. I don't think it's the greatest movie of all time. I just watched that movie so much as a child that it's pretty much ingrained. Like I could recite that movie for you right now, probably, without missing a line. I've seen it so many times, and that's just a movie that I cherish. So it's not. I don't consider it the greatest movie of all time. In my opinion, is The Godfather, Part 1 and Part 2. Part 3 was kind of bad. And then you go Pulp Fiction, probably. I mean, there's so many good movies. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which came out last year. That was a great movie. That's Quentin Tarantino too. Anybody that hasn't seen that needs to see that. It was a great movie. Rocky. Rocky's probably one of the greatest sports movies of all time. I wouldn't put it in my top 15 or 20 greatest movies of all time, though. It's a great sports movie, though. I'd say it's the greatest sports movie of all time. Maybe Rudy, but Rocky's right there with it. I like Rocky though, so I'll give it credit where it's credit's due there. Rocky's a great movie too. Rocky's kind of like Jaws, though. Rocky really like kind of got a bad rep because the sequels really sucked. I saw The Dirt. My friend watched that and he said it was pretty good. I did not like Bohemian Rhapsody. It wasn't true to the actual story of what happened with Freddie Mercury. I read about that, and a lot of the stuff they said on that movie was kind of false, so I didn't like that. I also saw with, what was it? What was it? What is the Elton John movie called? I just watched this. I don't know how. This is insane. I just watched this movie with my dad like 2 nights, like a week ago. Bohemian Rhapsody was good in terms of like if you want to pretend like that's actually what happened to Freddie Mercury and you want to like act like that was actually what happened in his life. Rocket Man, yes, Rocket Man. I don't know how I forgot that. Rocket Man was weird. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel about that movie. There was too many like musical break. Like I just want it to be like a real documentary. I don't like a bio documentary. I don't want it to be like all this like weird music stuff. Like when he started floating out of the seat and all that, and like the whatever. I think that was Your Song. He started singing, like at like the very beginning of the movie, and he started like floating out of his seat and playing the piano. And I was like, no, it was Crocodile Rock. He started singing Elton John. That was like his first song, and he started singing that, and he started like floating out of his seat and stuff. I was like, all right, this is not really realistic at all. I don't like this. This kind of got weird. I like normal. I don't know if you guys ever seen a great biopic. It's about John Lennon and his early life. It's called Nowhere Boy.
Oh my god. Okay. We got to redo Hershey, but I got up to Fantasy Island.
I can just pull the Hershey Park stuff. I can just pull that from the live stream, I think. I don't really want to re-record that. That was too good to not use.
I know it was.
Which sucks, but
yeah, I agree. I don't know. First of all,
it's gonna be really hard to. I'll try to edit that good, but I'll get it. I'll probably because I think I know where I cut it at, so I can try to do it. Hopefully, your audio doesn't cut out too much, but.
Let me export this as WAV first.
But Nowhere Boy. Great movie about John Lennon. His early life, I'm not going to spoil what happens because a lot of you aren't probably familiar with John Lennon's early life, because a lot of you probably don't care that much about the Beatles or you might care about the Beatles, but you don't. I'm a huge Beatles fanatic, so anything that happened, I know pretty much everything about them. So I'm not going to spoil what happens in his early life, but it's a great movie to watch. That is a good biopic. So if you like documentaries, Austin, that is a good one to check out. Oh, it's a bio.
It won't.
It won't export it?
No.
I would just save it and try it later, maybe. Can you save it and exit out and then reopen it back up? Or do you not want to risk it and not save it?
So it's getting... Hold on, let me do this. Let me get to the point where... Let's see where we get to the end of the Fantasy Island
I would watch
stuff.
an AC/DC. Aerosmith, I think, is one of the most overrated bands of all time. AC/DC, however, love that band. That's probably a top 15 band for me. I would love to see an AC/DC movie. Love. Especially because Bon Scott died so young. I would love to see that and see like how the transition from him to Brian Johnson went and happened. Oh, Velocicoaster looks so much better than Pantheon. I think Pantheon looks great, but Velocicoaster looks like it could be like one of the greatest coasters ever built. But I come from the land down under.
You know where it happened? When I deleted that 10 seconds of audio. I don't know what happened, but that's when it happened.
Okay.
Because I hear, like, in here, I said, yeah, this is sad, when we were going into the Hershey story. And then you screwed, yeah, that's when you screwed up and you called it a multi-launch. So I backed it up 10 seconds.
James, this is my fault.
Well, I'm not.
You screwed it up, and I had to restart. James, you suck, and that's all. If I hadn't had to do that, none of this would have happened.
Well, I mean that is true, but that's not what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm. It's
But
true.
like that's where like then from everything else,
It's my fault.
like
I
it's all
manipulated.
blank.
I was like, Audacity, when I make this mistake, I want you to corrupt all of his files. If you don't.
Apparently, you did a good job of it too. All right, so let me now that I deleted that, let's see if
Every
no export.
time I look in the mirror, all these lines in my face are getting clearer.
Why do you always wait till I hit play?
Me?
Yeah, as soon as I hit play to see where I'm at, you start you start singing or something. It's like the worst timing ever.
I know. Sorry.
No, it's not. It's fine. It's just funny how it's like always like right there.
TG. I don't know, Edon. I'm just an awful person.
I know. All right, it exported as a WAV file.
Alright, and also, guys, you guys want to hear why Pink Floyd's great, one of the greatest bands of all time? Just before we start the podcast back up again, I want you guys to hear this right now. This is probably the greatest guitar solo of all time. So, 70s rock, this is where it peaked right here. This guitar solo, and then just from there, it just went down. Here we go. If you don't cry and get chills when you hear this. Oh my gosh. Just like,
I'm waiting for James to break out the lighter.
if I had, here we go. I got my phone. Then you can't hear the music though. If anyone can listen to this and tell me this isn't one of the greatest guitar solos of all time with a straight face, then I will ride T3. I'll marathon T3.
Me too. I don't know about marathon, but
I want everyone in the
Alright.
comments to say, James, I agree with you. This is the greatest guitar solo of all time. And then we'll start the show back up. I'm not doing it until everyone agrees with me.
King's Dominion is not going to. Well, first of all, they're not going to get an Intamin.
Yeah, I wouldn't suspect that.
King's Dominion is just.
I'm gonna check you guys off if you guys agree with me, though. By the way, there. After each everyone goes, James, you're right. It's great. I'll check you guys off the list, and then we'll move on to the next person. So Pam, I want you. I know you're out there. Austin, Edom, we gotta get this because I'm in a music mode now.
Sorry that I'm very spotty at responding to the chat. It just happens to be when I look over at the window, I like comment on the whatever line I see.
I'm not a big fan of Eruption by Van Halen, and I don't think Kiss is at all. I think Kiss is one of the most overrated rock bands as well. With Aerosmith, Kiss is just like a stadium rock band, you know. I like some of their stuff, but I don't think they're one of the greatest. But you know, it's your opinion. I'm not gonna. That's just, you know, my take on that. I'm not a big Kiss fan. I do like I was made for loving you, but everyone likes that song. I hate the song I wanna rock and roll all night.
Oh no!
That's an awful song.
I like that song.
That song is literally the exact. It's just like repeating the same lyric 80,000 times. I swear, there's no. It's just I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day, like 50 times.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Edon, I don't believe that statement there. You gotta convince me. But this is a great Kiss
Oh
song.
my god!
No.
Are you kidding me?
No. I'm not kidding you. Please. Bob, don't tell me.
It's saying my disk is full,
Oh, shoot.
but it's not. I mean, that would kind of explain why I had a problem. Could not save project.
Tonight. I want to give it all
It's
to
not right.
you.
Disk is full. What?
In the
The heck?
darkness. Imagine somebody like coming back and watching at this live stream and like just halfway through I'm just like, tonight. I want to give it all to you. in the dead of night. Girl, you were made for me. Here we go, Austin. Sing with me now. I was made for loving you, baby. You were made for loving me. And I was meant enough for you, baby. Can you get enough of me tonight? Wanna see it on your right.
This is so freaking weird. Audacity's refusing to save this because it says the disk is full. And I tried both disks.
Austin, a great song by Kiss is also Beth is a great song. Tonight. But you also can't tell me. Listen, this came out in 1967, I believe.
Hey, James, can you do me a favor?
Yeah. What?
Can you, on that share where I send my audio files, can you go there and
You can probably
open
just
up
send me the
C-
file. You don't have to send me like the actual.
Huh?
You could just send me like the file itself. You don't have to send me the WAV file. I could probably.
That's I just sent you that. I want you to make sure that it plays okay for you.
Oh, you sent me the WAV. I'm saying you could actually is it working now? You could you downloaded the WAV file.
Yeah, I had to delete all the silent areas. But like
Alright,
I wanted to
it'll
save like
play,
after
I'm
I
sure.
deleted that, I want to save the project file, but it's refusing to save it and I don't know why.
Let me see if it's gonna
But
work.
whoa,
I
what was that?
have to
Enough
download it now,
pandemonium?
so it's taking a while to download, so I have to see. It just says like 5 minutes, so I'll have to download. This is a big file. What do you mean my day job, Pam?
You were singing badly, she's saying.
That was purposeful. I can sing actually pretty well when I want to, though. Just FYI, guys.
Sure.
I've actually been told by many people outside of, my family as well, that I said I'm a great singer. My band teacher, who did not like me at all, said I was a great singer, so. In your face.
You know what really irritates me?
Joe Mama.
We were actually on track to finish this podcast by 11.
Yeah, we were.
So that I could sleep. And then my computer just decides, you know what? No. And there's no rhyme or reason as to why.
You want to talk about the most underrated rock band of all time? It's this band right here. Sorry, that was... If anyone can name this band, I'll be shocked. Other than Pam, I think you might know who this is, but don't say it. If you say it, I'm gonna kick you from the chat. I have the authority to do so. I know if I play the actual, their famous song, everyone will know what it is, but... Pam, you can give hints if you want. We'll do a little bit of a trivia thing here.
Recording test. This is a recording test. Just testing.
I'm just gonna play the actual song that everyone's gonna know by them. But this is the most underrated rock band of all time right here. Everyone knows this song though. I can have Bob agree with me anything. Oh, you know what? You know what I'm gonna do? You guys can hear him talking. I think, right? You can hear his audio feedback. Can you hear his feedback? Right? Watch this. Watch this. Bob, is T3 overrated? And no, does T3 suck? Because I think it sucks. Oh, I thought I had the audio clip where he said, "Yeah, it absolutely is." T3 is garbage, Bob.
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
That was pretty great, right? I think you guys can hear that. Let me go back a second. T3 is complete garbage, right? T3 is garbage, right, Bob? T3 sucks, right, Bob?
Yeah, I think it definitely is.
I love that. I just found an audio clip of you saying, "Yeah, it definitely is." So I played it back on the podcast and everyone could hear it. And I said, "Is T3 garbage?" And you go, "Yeah, I think it is."
Wait, what?
I found an audio clip of you going, "Yeah, I think it is." And I said, "T3 is garbage." And then you go, "Yeah, I think it definitely is." And that was pretty great. Your audio is coming through good on that file. So
Okay, hopefully it's straight through. It looks like all the corruption was at the end.
I'm gonna need you to. Can you do that though? Can you send me the live stream, like can you download it and send it to me? Last time you did it, you said it did it like
Yeah.
you did it better, and I don't know how to do it really that well. So, I mean, I do know how to do it. I use like a weird website, and it's kind of sketchy. So I'd rather you do it and just send me that. Just send me the audio too. Don't send me the video. You can do that. Just FYI.
T3 is awesome. I wish it was T4. I hope they named the new attraction T4. All right, so that's what you're gonna do then. You're gonna just pull the Hershey Park audio. Hey guys in the live chat, did our audio sound okay while we were talking about Hershey Park and Intamin and that stuff?
Yeah, are we coming through clear? If you guys can remember that far back.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. All right, yeah, I can't until the live stream ends. I can't. Actually, it'll be probably a little.
A lot of people were excited about, and we're gonna actually talk about
morning. But yeah, I can do that.
Hey, what do I get? I don't need it till
because after we end
talking about that all when we get back from this.
Once
break.
you end the live stream, it takes YouTube a while to process it before it can actually grab it. Okay.
All right, let's get back down to business. 2 hours later.
Yeah. Oh my God, I gotta be up in like 5.5 hours.
So do I, Bob. All right,
I thought you said 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah, that's less than 5.5. Or I mean, more than 5.5.
Yeah, it is, I guess. Well, you said 5 or 6.
It's still sooner than 7. Anyway,
yeah, but I got up at 7 today as well, and I'm really exhausted. So, did you get up at 7 today? When did you get up today?
I don't know, maybe 8. I wasn't planning on it, but my phone was just my phone has been blowing up all day.
You gotta check it for bombs.
So the good news is, in all of this, I actually learned what to do now if something else goes wrong. I figured out that in Linux, Audacity keeps a temporary file, keeps everything in a temporary location that you can recover.
Cool.
But whenever I tried to restart it, it cleared all that.
All right, you ready?
Yeah, 3, 2.
So something that we've been doing since July. No, it's July now. All right, I got to get back into mine. I don't even know what we're talking about right now, actually. I just realized that. I was like, what are we even doing, actually? All right, what are we...
James was like, let's see if I can, just cause Bob's Audacity to freak out again.
Oh, yes, because that was... All right.
3, 2.
Something we started back in early June was the Coaster Talk podcast photo contest. a lot of you guys were wondering what you would actually win when you won this contest, and we actually have prizes for all top 3 spots that win. So you have third, second, and first, obviously, and we have a prize for each individual that does get that ranking of their photo. So we're going to discuss just right now, just give you guys the details of what that prize will be. Number 3, if you're in the third place, so the number third, blah, 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 bukaka laka jaka.
Really, really trying to mess up my Audacity. I get it. I get it. You're like, okay, Bob, we'll see how much you learned.
Yeah.
We're starting over, right?
Yeah, I'm going to start over.
Yeah. All right.
3.
3,
All right.
2.
Something we started back in early July. God dang it. Oh. Oh.
I'm going to fall asleep on Candemonium tomorrow.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. I'm just kidding.
Oh, and I actually hit it. I hate you.
Oh, God. No, you can't.
All right.
You just do it.
All right. 3, 2.
Something we started back in early June was the Coaster Talk podcast photo contest. In this photo contest, we're trying to figure out what obviously the best roller coaster related photo we can find is. And we have a lot of great submissions so far, but I know we'll get a lot more once we actually release what the prize of this contest is. And good news, if you're in the top 3, you're going to get a prize. So this isn't just a first place prize. You get a prize even if you're in the top 3. So you don't have to do the best. You can even be the third best and you still get a pretty great prize. And we're going to release those details right now, starting off with what you get in third place. So in third place, me and Bob have pretty much developed the system, and we're gonna put this in a big box. We're gonna get a lot of awesome memorabilia that we have from different parks across the country, and we're gonna basically put them into this big prize pack. And it's gonna be, media day flyers, old park maps, old park merchandise that doesn't sunglasses, hats, things of that nature, magnets, patches, all that kind of stuff. We're gonna be putting in this prize pack, and it's pretty great.
Stuff that is no longer available too.
Exactly. A lot of the stuff, I know for me at least, is stuff like that. It was limited edition, just for that, just for that event, just for that media day, just for that year, whatever. So that's pretty great stuff. There's gonna be some really awesome stuff in that, and there might also be a few other surprises in that pack as well. So that's kind of like a mystery pack as well. So there might be some cool things that we didn't really tell you about that's going to be included in that.
For second place, it's going to be a limited run Made to Thrill Voyage poster. I don't know if anybody has seen these. I'm sure you have.
Mm-hmm.
But Made to Thrill has worked with Holiday World in they developed these posters just for Holiday World, and they're exclusively being sold at Holiday World only.
Yes.
You're going to get the Voyage poster if you take second place.
Yeah, and that's a very sharp-looking poster. It's something that I am very
really cool.
jealous of. That is a great honor to get that poster. So, and especially, you might go, oh, it is a limited run. Like, this might not be there next year. This might be the only year this ever runs, and it is beautiful. So it is definitely something that second place. That is a great prize right there. And then for our first place prize winner, we got some great prizes. Or we have a great prize for the first place winner here. We had some good ones earlier, like as we stated, with the prize pack and the limited run Made to Thrill Voyage poster. But number one is a $100 gift certificate to B&H, which is phenomenal. So even B&H sells a lot of technology, different things for phones and cameras and computers and all sorts of things. So especially
they focus on camera equipment, but they've also picked up a lot of computer stuff and consumer electronics as well. So even if you happen to take the best photo ever on a cell phone and you don't really have camera equipment, you could use this towards getting camera equipment, or you could just find something else on the site.
Yeah, there's some really great stuff on there. So
I was wondering who was gonna laugh or talk first.
I was. Bob,
I mean,
Why
there
did-
was that point that I knew it was done, but I figured
why, Bob? Why?
I don't
Why
know.
did you not continue? I said there's really great stuff there, and you're just like,
I don't know. I don't know what else to
you
say.
just said yeah, or or I like it, or any of that.
Because the front fell
Yeah, there's
off.
some really great stuff on there. So, and then okay, so I said that and just start talking again. I said so. There's really great stuff on there, and then just go again.
What am I gonna say?
Just go. Yeah, there is, and then I'll continue. Whatever. Just please.
All right. Well, wait.
3,
Do
2,
I need
1,
to
go.
back
I'm
up?
just kidding.
What?
I'm
Do I need
kidding.
to back up and delete stuff, or
Yeah, you probably do. I just deleted about.
here we go.
I just deleted about 10 seconds of audio again.
10 seconds.
See, that was not my fault.
That was my fault. Well, you're gonna. I mean, I'll delete some, but you're gonna have to line it up anyway because I don't know where you stopped.
Oh yeah, I agree.
You agree?
I agree.
Don't break Audacity, please. Don't break. All right, 3, 2. So yeah, so there's a lot of great stuff there, and hopefully we get some more great photos, especially now that the parks are opening up. Hopefully people are going to get out there and find some great pictures of Orion and Candemonium, I'm sure.
Yeah. So I mean, if before you were kind of on edge about, man, what are they gonna give me that's so great? I'm telling you right now, I don't care. Even if I would, I'm not a photographer, but I would be joining this contest if it wasn't my own, and I got $100 gift certificate in B&H. I know for a fact I would be on top of getting a photo in. I don't care, even if it's not the greatest photo, I would be like, please, 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 So top 3 is great prizes. I mean, I think I would be okay with any 3 of these prizes. In my personal opinion, I know we're a little biased because we are running the competition, but man, these are some great prizes we have available for the top 3 winners. So we're excited to see who comes out on top, and we'll also be releasing more information as we go throughout the photo contest about who the judges are going to be, how many photos in particular we're going to have for the audience to vote. Because I know for a while we said there was going to be 10, but if we get a lot more submissions, we might readjust that. So we'll keep you guys up to date with what's going on. Again, that is the deadline for that is July 16th. So,
Speaking of photos, a really photogenic park is Dollywood. And
Indeed.
I know somebody that's been there fairly recently.
who would that be, Bob?
I think his name is Orion.
That is right, Orion. Or I feel like in a previous life, my name might have been James. I went to Dollywood, and yes, I had a great experience. Go to the YouTube channel. We have a full walkthrough of my entire day there. So I'm not going to go way into depth on that level of detail. I know Bob did with Holiday World, but I don't feel I need to because, again, I have a whole YouTube video up about that. I will talk about, just a little overview of my day. So I did the mountain coasters that night. We drove up Friday night. We did Smoky Mountain Alpine Coaster, and we did Rocky Top Mountain Coaster, which were fantastic attractions. I loved those. Rocky Top's new this year. Smoky Mountain's been there for a while, and that was great. That was a fantastic ride. I loved Smoky Mountain Alpine Coaster. It was intense. It had some laterals. It had some airtime. That was a great experience we had. So I love the Pigeon Forge area, and that just added a whole nother level of love to that area because I'd been there before and I kind of drove through the strip, but I'd never really truly been in and done a lot of the other attractions other than Dollywood. So it was cool to do some of the mountain coasters and stuff of that nature. We did Dollywood. We did all the coasters throughout the day. It was fantastic. And the one coaster that was closed was Lightning Rod, of course. That was closed the entire day we were there until 9 o'clock. And the park closes at, I believe it was 9:45, the park closed that day. So we had 45-minute window that Lightning Rod was open. And we got there, we had a quick queue that we had gotten earlier that day. And we were like, okay, we can use our quick queues and we can get a couple, because what was happening is these quick queues were technically supposed to be good for only 2 rides for 2 riders, so you can get 1 ride for 2 riders, so you could go on a ride and bring 2 people with you. But they were taking them, and you could bring out your whole party with you, so we'd give them 1 quick queue, and they'd let all 4 of us on a coaster, which was fantastic. So we got multiple rides on a lot of coasters using this quick queue fast pass system here because they weren't looking at it said only 2 riders, and we were going to be like, all right, it's only 2 riders, but no one was really saying no, you can't bring 2 riders on. So we weren't going to test the water. We were just going to be like, okay, if you're everyone at every ride at the park. I think we did Thunderhead, we did Mystery Mine, and we did we did Lightning Rod with the fast pass, and nobody at any of those attractions questioned it. So we're like, all right, we're just gonna put up with it. So we did that, and we went over to Lightning Rod, got in line. We got the first ride. We got in line in the quick queue line again, right in time before the park closed. Got in the line, and we're like, holy God, we're gonna get last ride of the night at Lightning Rod. This is gonna be great. This is our second ride. It's gonna be fantastic. And as soon as we were about to get in line, we were about to get into the actual station building. We look outside the ride, and Lightning Rod's sitting there completely. It's rolled back into the lift hill, and I'm like, oh man, what a perfect end to a perfect day here at Dollywood. It was so saddening, but we got one ride, which I didn't think we'd get at all, so I was very excited at that fact in general. So I didn't think we were going to get any rides on it, so we got the one ride. That was fantastic. It actually moved up, and I said I would say this in later podcasts and later videos, and I'm going to say it now. It actually moved up in my rankings. It was at number 4, and it's now moved to number 3. It's surpassed Fury 325 in my rankings. So anybody that cares about rankings, that's where it is for me. It's a great ride. It was an adrenaline rush. It was an airtime machine. I loved it. It was fantastic. I mean, it never slows down. It's crazy how fast that thing is. And yeah, so that's my Dollywood experience. Then the next day we got up, we did a lot of the mountain coasters. We did like 3 or 4 mountain coasters, and then it started raining, and we were like, all right, this is about time we were going to leave anyway, so let's just head out. And that was Pigeon Forge, and that was my trip in a nutshell right there. It was a great trip. I loved Pigeon Forge. It was so much fun.
How was Dollywood's enforcement of their rules for COVID-19 prevention?
It was good. Every single person in the park wore a mask. I did not see anybody in the entire park. It was required. So, employees were wearing masks. We were all wearing masks. Guests were wearing, even the people you might think, oh, they don't look like people that would be wearing masks. They were wearing masks. Like, everybody had a mask on, and they were all, like, they weren't, like, you would think, hanging around your face or whatever. They were all, like, I'd say 99.9% of everybody. There were a couple people that, might have it below their nose or whatever, but everybody pretty much had it completely covering their entire face. I'd say 99.9% of everybody had it covering their entire face. The good thing is with Dollywood, you're allowed to. They have the mask relaxation zones, and they also have, if you're eating, you can take your mask off. If you're drinking, and if you're taking photos. So normally, when I was taking videos, since I was walking around while I was taking videos, I normally would have my mask on. I think every video actually I had my mask on because I didn't want to I was still walking around, so it wasn't just like a photo op. There was one point, I think, when I was in line for Lightning Rod, and there was, no one around us, so I was like, I'm going to take my mask off so people can actually see my face, and because I wanted them to see my reaction to Lightning Rod. I was like, holy crap, that was insane. So I did take my mask off just for that clip, because we were socially distant from everybody. I made sure that we were, apart from everybody. But other than that, everybody wore their masks throughout the day, socially distanced. People were socially distancing. There were some point, people in line sometimes weren't socially distancing, but then again, everyone was wearing their masks, so I felt a little bit safer.
Yeah.
So it felt a little safer. Like, if everyone was, wearing their masks off and was, right up on top of you, I'd be like, but everyone was wearing the masks, so I felt a little bit better about, it didn't have to be, social, just, strict, if you need to be completely away from me.
So from the pandemic point of view, you had the complete opposite experience than I had at Holiday World.
Yes, and they were sanitizing. Every cycle, every train was getting cleaned. It was really cool.
That's awesome.
And even I believe every ride, they gave you hand sanitizer before you rode and after you rode. They would squirt hand sanitizer in your hand so you could wash your, because you're touching the restraints and stuff, just in case any.
Yeah.
So every ride they'd squirt hand sanitizer in your hand, and then you get off and they'd give you some hand sanitizer. It was definitely a safe environment. I felt like it was a very safe environment.
I wish we saw more parks like that, because that's going to be the, I feel almost like all of these parks have, made their case to their local government of look, we can do this. This is how we are going to handle it. And the government said, okay, you can open under those, circumstances. And then they just kind of forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's good to see people following through. I'm actually really curious to see how Hershey does tomorrow.
I have heard some rumors that it's going pretty well up there in terms of masks wearing.
Yeah,
and stuff,
it's kind of interesting though, because Pennsylvania has had this weird. There's weird wording in their mask guidelines that if you have a medical condition, you don't have to wear it. but they're not allowed to ask you if you have a medical condition. So like everybody just assumes that, oh, if you're not wearing a mask, you have a medical condition. Um, the interesting thing is apparently yesterday, July 1st, since this is July 2nd when we're recording it,
Hmm.
uh, Tom Wolf, governor of Pennsylvania, like did a mandate. It's now anytime you leave your house, and it's gonna be interesting to see how things change with that. Um, so yeah, I'm kind of curious to see. I know I know we're getting a little bit off topic, but these are just some things I know. The one thing that really floored me with the pandemic stuff, Six Flags America has opened, and
Yeah.
apparently they are doing an incredible job. And it's not just people following the guidelines, they're actually actively enforcing it from what
Hmm.
I've heard. And that is I honestly I'm shocked. I was not expecting that from Six Flags America.
No,
I'm really glad to hear it. So
I am too.
hopefully some more parks get, if we wanna keep riding coasters, we need to we need to be
I
responsible.
will say though, in terms of Dollywood was great with management of the pandemic stuff, like I stated. But if you're trying to do mountain coasters and attractions, I mean, nobody was wearing masks there. Nobody was. I mean, they were sanitizing trains, but they weren't. I mean, everyone wasn't really
Yeah.
social distancing. It was just like I felt like Timmy was with me and Alex, and I turned to them and I'm like, I feel like I'm not. I feel like there's no pandemic going on. I feel like everything's just normal. Like because nobody's. I mean,
Well,
nobody's social distancing. Nobody's wearing masks. Nobody's doing
that's
anything.
exactly how it was in Indiana. Because I mean, Indiana wasn't even recommending masks when we were there, which is just unreal.
It was just so strange because
Um,
Dollywood was so like strict about it, and then I mean, like if you weren't wearing a
yeah,
mask, employees would be like, please, wear your mask or whatever. And then you'd go to the mountain coaster, like literally Rocky Top Mountain Coaster is like not even you could walk there. It's like a minute walk from the park, and it was like a completely different environment.
I wonder how much Dolly Parton actually had to do with that because I know she's been really in tune with the pandemic response and stuff, and I wonder if she kind of like laid down the law with Hershend and said, "Look, you really need to do this."
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know,
no clue
but
either.
it's
Yeah,
good to hear. It's really really good to hear,
it is fantastic. It
and
was
glad you
fantastic
had
to
a
see.
great trip as well.
I seriously hope Hershey is. I've heard some good things, so for your sake, I hope they're coming through,
Yeah,
following
it's
through
kind
with
of
it.
interesting. Like Hershey was calling people out because on Twitter, some people were saying like, "Oh, just go and tell them you have a medical reason." And Hershey actually replied to a couple people saying, "Are you admitting that you're going to violate our policies?" Like,
On social media, no less.
yeah,
Like for the
and
whole world to see.
so it's kind of good to see that. It's just weird. The Pennsylvania loophole is like, I mean, Knobles even did the same, has kind of said the same thing. But again, I don't know what changed yesterday with the mandate that was released by the governor. So it'll be interesting. I kind of see it going. I think Hershey Park is taking it seriously. I think there's just kind of like those little like nuances that they're gonna get stuck in, but we'll find out.
Yeah, and for time's sake, this week we do have a weekly poll and we got some responses, but we are just going to share our thoughts to this because this is more of like an opinion based poll anyway. It's not really truly based in any like evidence or fact. It's not really a debate or of any sort, so we're not really figuring out anything great. So we basically said last week, what do you guys think is a good IP for amusement park? What is your ideal IP for an amusement park? You can base it on books, TV shows, movies, etc. And we got some responses, but again, for time's sake, we're just going to give our own. And Bob, I know you had one that you felt very strongly about, so I'll let you share first.
I still am shocked that we haven't seen this, but I really think, like, I would love to see a Doctor Who land in a park somewhere. It probably would be in the UK most likely because I don't know. The US is pretty big, but basically we're looking at something that like on the lines of Harry Potter. And I think there's so much you could do with that. Like, I mean, being able to ride a flying TARDIS would be awesome.
Yeah.
Um, I I think there's a lot you could do. I think you could do coasters that would like really kind of like interact with the theming as well.
Hmm.
And there's so many different episodes. Like each episode of Doctor Who has its own storyline. So there's so many different things you could choose from to pull from and model things around. I think it would be a phenomenal IP, and I'm really shocked that it hasn't been done already. Because it is such a huge. I mean, there's a huge following of Doctor Who, and it's just kind of shocking that there isn't one.
A show that I've been watching recently, and I am also equally as shocked that there's no, at least thought of this. I haven't heard anybody ever mention this. It might be because it's owned by a network that might not, nobody might have access to it at this point. But Game of Thrones, I think, would be a fantastic, great IP to theme a amusement park, at least section to, or an entire park. I mean, you could do it. I mean, because there are separate areas on the map of this country that this TV show set in. I just started watching it, and I'm entranced with it. I think it's one of the greatest TV shows ever created, in my opinion. I mean, just it's fantastically done. The actors are great, great storyline, fantastic acting. The setting is amazing. I love like imagining, oh, they're in this country, and oh, they're doing this and they're doing that. It's fantastic. The Seven Kingdoms, you could easily theme a theme park to that. And I would think, in terms of rides, I would like to see at this park. I think a Gravity Group wooden coaster would be really well here. Theme it. I don't know exactly what, but I just have it like it just has that feeling of like almost any really traditional wooden coaster, but especially Gravity Group for some reason. I'm thinking like Voyage type of wooden coaster. It really has that like almost medieval, ancient. It feels like an older coaster just based on what it does. So if they could do something like that, I think it'd be great. And then theme it to some sort of Game of Thrones type thing. You could have some actual theming during the actual ride experience. That would be really awesome. I would think obviously a pirate ship type ride would go well here because that is a lot of the actual story takes place on ships and things like that. So it would be awesome to have something of a pirate ship theme. And I think an SNS drop tower would be really great here because it actually reminded me when I saw this movie, saw the show. There's the wall. There's this thing called the wall, and this basically separates the north of this map of the Seven Kingdoms and the south of them. And it's this 700-foot tall wall, and there's this huge like mine shaft kind of thing that lifts you up to. That's how you get to the top of the 700-foot wall. That's protecting them from the other side of the thing. It's almost like the Great Wall of China, but just like insanely larger. And that mine shaft looks like a SNS drop tower, and I'm like, holy crap, this would be a great, fantastic theme park attraction if they did this. So I think if they could theme it to that, they could call it the wall, they could do whatever, and I think it would be fantastic. So those are just some of the ideas that popped into my head when I thought of this. Again, we had some other responses, but I don't really want to. We don't have time to get into that. And then what would happen? Me and Bob would go, "Oh, well, really? That's a really good." And then we'd start thinking about other things and we'd go on hour-long rant about how this is a good show and that's a good show and this is a great movie and that's a good book and et cetera, et cetera. So we're leaving it up to that. Hopefully, you guys like our thoughts. I think Doctor Who's a great one. I've never really watched the show that much. But I think that would be I could definitely see a great IP coming out of that.
Yeah, and I actually Game of Thrones. I mean, I personally never got into Game of Thrones. I don't like that genre, but it is something that resonates with a lot of people. A lot of people love it, and there's a big story. So I mean, I could definitely see that happening.
So next week's weekly poll: is the term family coaster flawed? Do some rides that technically fit this category not Let's just redo that part.
Testing Audacity again.
Actually, you don't really have to talk anymore. I don't think so. Unless you want to.
Perfect. No. I'm done.
All right, here we go. I'm just gonna finish it up. Is the term is the term family... no, I have to start off saying... is the term family... no. Yeah, for sure. And the next week's weekly poll is the term family coaster flawed? Do some rides that technically fit in this category seem too extreme? I know Bob, for example, thinks Rebolton is way I don't even know what I'm going for there. All right. Yeah, for sure. And next week's weekly poll is the term family coaster flawed? Do summarize that technically fit in this category seem too extreme? I know Bob, for example, thinks Verbolten is too full crap. Can you just say something there? Can you just say something there? You say what you think.
I already exported.
Okay, what do you think about Verbolten? Tell me what you think. Just tell me real quick, just like in one sentence, what you think about Verbolten.
I love Verbolten, but it's kind of scary for kids, I think.
All right, scary for kids. Yeah, for sure. And next week's weekly poll is the term family coaster flawed? To summarize that technically fit into this category seem too extreme. I know Bob, for example, thinks Verbolten at Busch Gardens Williamsburg is actually too scary for kids. So do you think that there are too many coasters that kind of fit into this category that really aren't truly family coasters? We're going to talk about that all on next week's show. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to contact the show, you can do so by going to Twitter at @CoasterTalk_pod. At Coaster Talk Pod. What did I just say? Contact the show by yeah, for sure. How do you contact the show by going? Thank you guys so much for listening. If you want to next week's show, all right. Remember, guys, we have a photo contest going on that ends July 16th. The rules are that watermarks must be minimal if present at all. They must be theme park related. They don't have to be necessarily coasters, but we don't really want any water park photos. They must be your own content. They must not be taken while on a ride or in a restricted area. I want TIFF, JPG, or PNG files sent to the website. Minimum of 2048 by 2048 resolution and a maximum of 15 megabytes. Again, the deadline is July 16th at 12 a.m. Eastern Time, and we want you to include the following information: your name, your age, your email, your photo title, your park where the photo was taken, the caption that describes the photo, and the schedule for this is the first round will be James and me. James and me. God damn.
James and me.
The schedule for this is the photo was taken, the caption that describes the photo, and the schedule for this is that the first round, me and Bob will weed out what we think aren't good photos. We're just gonna, take out the ones that we think don't fit in and they're not very good photos. We're not going to discriminate and go, oh, we don't like this coaster, so it's not a good photo. We're going to be very straightforward with this and just say, okay, this is not a good quality picture. Trust us, we're not going to, if your photo is even decent, we probably won't cut it out. So second round, we're going to have the audience narrow it down to about 10 photos. And that's, again, I said earlier, it's going to vary on the amount of photos that we receive. We're hoping to receive a lot, so maybe that might go up to more than 10. We'll see. And then the third round, the judges, who we will release at a later date who they are going to vote on the best ones. The top 3 will receive the prizes that we listed earlier. Thank you guys all so much for listening to this week's episode of Coaster Talk Podcast. If you want to follow us on social media, you can do so by going to Twitter at CoasterTalk_pod. Follow Bob on Twitter also at CoasterTalkBob. You can go to the poll also. That's not the social media. Talk Bob. Facebook at Coaster Talk Pod. You can go to Instagram at Coaster Talk Pod as well. If you want to answer this week's weekly poll, you can go to coastertalkpodcast.com/poll. If you want to contact the show with any comments, questions, or concerns, if you want to send an audio file to the show as well, you can go do so by going to coastertalkpodcast.com/contact. To email either me or Bob, you can email us both at james@coastertalkpodcast.com or bob at coastertalkpodcast.com. We've been your source for everything roller coasters, and we'll see you guys all on the next show. Oh, boy, god dang, man.
My audio is up there.
You made it to 80, Bob. 80.
Yeah.
I can't believe that.
It was almost 79 and a half.
I know. I'm thinking, we gotta start thinking for episode 100. That's only 20 episodes away.
That's like almost half a year, right? Yeah.
Let me see where 20 episodes was a while ago. Just so we have an idea.
Well, it's a week. That's 20 weeks.
That's not half
There's
a year,
54
Bob.
weeks in a year, so.
That's like one third, 1/4.
That was too much fractionating in my head. And I said almost half.
See, 20 episodes ago was only in February, though. I mean, that's a while ago, but still, I mean, like, you gotta think about how time works, Bob. I don't know what's going on. All of a sudden, my monitor's, like, freaking out. It hasn't this entire night. Alright, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that stream. A lot of you guys stayed around, so I'm surprised. I thought everyone was gonna leave when Bob's audio started being a freak show. I thought everyone was gonna hit.
That's actually a good question. I think all of Virginia went to phase 3 at the same time.
Yeah, I think they did too.
I don't think Northern Virginia held back for phase 3.
But I know like,
we
a
were
lot of
held
stuff
back
didn't
in
open.
phase 1
Though.
and phase
I know a lot of
2.
stuff that was supposed to open in phase 3 didn't actually end up opening. I think he held back some stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
You mean Northern Virginia?
No, I think just Virginia in general. I think Northern like held back some stuff because of what was happening in other places.
I don't know. I know we've been. Yeah, it was. Yeah, Governor Ralph Northam has announced that Virginia, including Northern Virginia, will move to phase 3 effective July 1st.
Yeah, but he changed the bar guidelines. That's what it was. Like a lot of bars can't. He said, the
yeah, they
restaurants
can't.
won't be able to open bars, and yeah.
It's kind of weird that they're. I'm surprised the state isn't making a small exception for Kings Dominion and Busch Gardens, because I mean, like the park said, like they're only allowed to operate basically 5 people per acre, which is ridiculous.
And I mean,
I think it'll take a little while for us to get to phase 4, because you got to remember you're dealing with different geographical areas and movement, and I mean Pennsylvania is now like they started to spike. They were, I think, declining. Now they started to spike, and they're not that far from us. So, you know, I don't know. I think it's going to be a while before we go to phase 4. What do you think, James?
I think it'll be like August.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
But you're talking about. I think that Kings Dominion Busch Gardens. I mean, it's so insanely difficult to contract. I've heard like it's really difficult. Like only like 1 or 2 cases have actually been contracted like outside in an outdoor environment.
And, yeah, it is harder to contract outside.
And like basically at Dollywood, I don't think I ever went inside other than the restroom. Pretty much all the restaurants we went to, Cinnamon Bread, everything was outside.
Here's the thing, though, and this is kind of what. This is kind of I kind of have a feeling this may be why some of their Northam isn't saying, okay, we'll give an social distancing, like, you know, but if everybody's crammed together, you know, whether it's open air or not, you can still spread. And I think I really think that some of the problem might be of how horribly Busch Gardens Tampa has pulled it off. That Northam is like, well, no, like you guys. I mean, you know, there's unintended consequences, and that could possibly be one of the reasons. I think. I don't know. They
should have just pulled the Northam. Thrill seeking is essential, mother. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, and like that type of attitude that SeaWorld has, like, I just think that's like, you know, I almost say like screw them. It's just like that's just a bad look. And like if you're taking that attitude, it's like I don't know. But at the same time, like, you know, I think they were asking for 5,000, which is that's still a low number, and I'd feel comfortable with 5,000 for sure. I don't know. But see, you mentioned about suing them. I don't think they really have a legal ground. Like the reason why Kings Island was able to sue was because they were treating other businesses in the same classification differently than the parks. the whole thing here is they're actually treating everybody exactly the same. So
Yeah, but
I don't
I
think
think
they're
a legal
really
ground to
moving.
say, hey, we're being compared to a freaking bowling alley. That's not fair at all. Like I feel like that's a legal ground to be like, a bowling alley can't
I
even fit 200 people inside of it, let alone a
but
thousand. I mean,
I mean I agree I absolutely agree with that logic, but at the same time like it's not like there's special treatment going on.
I don't think it was
Like
special treatment with
that's the thing that
Ohio.
happened in Ohio. It
I
was
think
almost
Ohio they
like
were just saying. I mean, I know that how they saw it was special. They were just saying like, we think that these venues. I think it was almost a similar situation. Like these venues can reopen because they're not as high. Like you can't allow as large amount of people to gather. I mean, because it was like small like things like bowling alleys and things like that they were saying like could open up and everything, and they were like, hey, why can't we? We're an entertainment venue like this. Why can't we reopen?
yeah, but see that's the thing. They're not saying that they can't open.
Yeah, but they're saying that at this point. I mean, at this point, if they did reopen, it would be like they would be losing money. I just think it's. I think they
I mean,
would have
yeah,
grounds.
that's the effective
I
result.
think what
But
they said in that article is ground to sue. Like, hey, we're like everything they said. I think would be grounds to sue. I think they would. I don't know if they'd win, but I think it's worth a shot in my opinion. I think it would be worth it. I don't think it's completely out of question to do that.
I don't know. We'll have to see. Anyway, I really need to go to bed because I got to be up in less
Oh,
than
wait. We said we
what?
do this after every live stream. We said we are going to start doing this.
What? I forget.
You'll remember here in a second.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Someone said my grandpa and papa used to live on Commonwealth Boulevard with the windows open in the summertime. We could hear this song every night. That's pretty
That's
cool.
cool.
This song is so cool.
It is. I like it.
It makes me
And
want to go
it
back to the
feels
40s.
like makes me want to go back to Kennywood.
Makes me want to go back in time.
Yeah, that too. All right, guys. That's good. That's fun.
Nights. I'm gonna end the stream. Bye, guys.
See you guys.